Welcome to the Coaches Show on the Spartan Digital Network. That's Preston Ingram. I'm Kevin Paulus. And Coach, let's talk a little bit about the week that was. A lot of buildup going into the William Woods game. We've talked about all the games previous to that. Rough start and didn't get a whole lot better. It was just a game you guys didn't really compete.
No. Well, I think that word of compete is a unknown word for us right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is unfortunate. You said it was a build-up, and I think we forgot that it was a build-up for us. It was an old-fashioned butt kicking. That's just what that was. Out-coached, outplayed, outworked, out-competed, out everything in that aspect, every facet of form. Shooting the ball is one thing, but the competitiveness of everydayness has to be something that you are and not what you think. And we've got to be have less mediocrity in what we do, and more harder. So then when we get into adversity spots, we can handle them better. There was a time and place we're shooting 22% from the field, and it's a 9-point game. And then, then Woods just ran away with it. Mm-hmm. And, to be honest with you, I never felt good going into the game, to be honest with you. The whole week leading up to it, I didn't like it. I didn't like where we was at. You try to cover it up. But at this point, though, there isn't more cover up. We got exposed. And do credit to William Woods because they're a better team than us right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's, early in the game, I think at one point, the start of the game, it was like 18-2, and it was like, kind of to your point, everyone was expecting a big game, but not prepared to play a big game mentally, it felt like.
For sure. We came out flat.
Yeah.
But we walked in flat.
Yeah.
We didn't have a very good week of preparation. We didn't have a very good scout. We didn't have a very good engagement. We didn't have very good chemistry as far as in understanding what's at task and what's at risk. I told the guys, this is, I think, the first time that I've been here at MoBap that we're not going to have a chance to be able to be a contention to win the league.
Right.
And that's disappointing. That's not what we set here to do. Winning the AMC has kind of been a standard of at least being in content. The best that we can do right now is possibly win second, and that's if we take care of business this week. Because if not, that's out the door. Mm-hmm. We're looking at either third or fourth, and probably more likely a fourth of that part. And so, we got a lot of way to go. Obviously you got to win the conference tournament, be to go to the national tournament, but that's not the standard of what we are about and that what we've been about. We've been about winning and being competitive and putting a certain product on the floor that's going to be a day in, day out, and we have not done that. We failed to do that, and so we got to get tougher is what we got to be able to do.
It's always the million-dollar question, but what do you feel is missing with this team? Obviously, you're 4 games into a 6-game road trip. We knew that the Arkansas trip was going to be tough. You lose the CBC and then the loss to William Woods, and we'll talk about Columbia in a second. But if you could put your finger on it, what's not there right now with this team?
Big environment games make us nervous.
Yeah.
If you think about this, we haven't won a big game, but one. It was the William Woods game. And maybe St. X at St. Xavier in the very beginning of the year. Every other big game we've ever had, we haven't really risen to the occasion. We've gotten quiet and methodical, and a lot of that goes into your daily preparations. I think this is one thing I love about Nick Saban is that, high-achieving people don't like mediocrity because mediocrity doesn't like to be challenged. And right now, not to say that we're mediocre in any kind of way, but we have a mediocre mindset of how we're going to go about being challenged. And that's got to change, man. It's just got to change. And it can't be, I think we're too comfortable being comfortable. I'm kind of calling us out a little bit, and I kind of called us out the other day, sitting there saying, look, right now, we're, any time that we get challenged, we back down and we start putting fingers, and you can't do that. As winners, you got to be able to do. I put on the board before the game, I said, either you win, you learn, and you repeat, or you learn, you win, and you repeat. But it's got to be one or the other. You can't go and see what you just did and learn into a loss. You got to learn from that, be able to figure out how you're able to win, and you got to come back with a different mentality to you. If you come back with the exact same mentality and the exact same thing, you're going to get the exact same results. we got to change that. You know what I mean? Like, if we want to be able to change anything, I mean, we got a great group of guys. We got a good group of guys that do really good stuff, and they're great kids. They're fun to be around. But if winning sometimes, if you put into a standard of sitting there saying that you put yourself in the back in the corner, you got one or two ways that you're going to be able to come out, regardless of how good of a person you are. You got to be able to have some fight to you to be able to go back and do that, because the next team is going to do the exact same thing to us. And so nobody's going to feel sorry for us, regardless of the injuries or not. We got to be able to do better.
It's a rough week to be questioning how you're going to perform in big games, because Thursday night it's Columbia. You know, traditionally doesn't get a whole lot bigger than a Columbia Missouri Baptist game, and they came in here, played a great game, especially a great second half, and got one on the road. You guys are challenged with having to do the same thing, go into Columbia Thursday night and get a win.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be a hard one. I mean, Columbia is very, very structured and good. They're disciplined in what they do. They understand what they're going to do. They know why they're going to do it. They know when they're going to do it and where they're going to do it. Colin Parker's playing really, really good basketball right now. Isaiah Hooten is playing really good basketball right now. Tisdale's had a big year for them from a scoring aspect. Harrison Vickers obviously gives them a big thing, and Marlon rebounding the ball well. And they got a lot of guys off the bench, and Carson and Trevor Moore that can really come in and be able to provide, as well as, you know, a slew of other guys. At third place is a difficult place to play. It's a reason why that if you do get a win over there, which we've been fortunate to be able to do in the past couple of years here, is be able to go get a win at their place. I mean, we've had a really good win-loss record against Columbia in recent years, but it's going to be difficult, and you got to be disciplined, and you got to make sure that you understand you can take highs and lows when they come and handle adversities, because it's going to be some adversities. You know, if you want to be able to win, you got to be able to put the orange thing inside the orange thing and stop the other team putting the orange thing inside the orange thing. So you got to be able to defend and be able to put the ball back in the hole and be able to do the simplistic things better. And so if we can do those, we got to have a chance. If we don't do those, we'll get the exact same result again. And, you know, we'll be marginal at that part. And hopefully we'll grow up here. We had a tough day yesterday, and we're going to have another tough day today and have another tough one on Wednesday. And if we don't get anything, we might not know anything of what Columbia runs. But we're going to figure out how to run through a brick wall and how to be able to play harder and be able to do certain things. And if that's going to involve everybody or involve some, one way or another, we're going to be able to get done what we need to be able to get done going into the conference tournament at the end of the year.
So last question, as a coach, how difficult is it, this may be a silly question, but how difficult is it to motivate a team to finish second than it is to motivate them to win a conference championship? Because in all intents and purposes, unless CBC just falls flat on their face, you guys are playing for second. That's probably not going to happen. So how does that change from a coaching perspective? You're not, you know, you're playing for a seed basically from here on out.
Well, you're playing for home court advantage for at least 2 games.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, that's kind of what it is. I mean, I agree. Right now CBC is kind of doing what we did 2 years ago. I mean, they're just basically just steamrolling the league right now. You know, and I mean, they've got a couple games left, but I mean, right now, I mean, they're going to have home court advantage. Now, they get to play a couple of their last games. I think 5 of the last 6 is on the road, which is going to put a little test battle to them, which is going to be good for them, I think, going into the conference tournament. But, you know, playing them at their place, I think that's a wrap. And as far as in that aspect, on that part, as far as in winning the league. For us right now, we're playing for a seed. You know, you're playing for pride at this point, if anything. You know, you're playing for pride and sitting there saying, you know, last night I was watching the Kansas and the K-State game, and you look at what K-State did last night, and they had a lot of turmoil. I mean, they had many chances they could have blown that game last night. Turnovers and missed free throws and a couple of bad possessions offensively, but then they stayed the course, and they handled the adversity really, really well against number 4 team in the country. And Jerome Tang said something at the very end of the year. He said, 14 wins gets you to the national tournament in this league because our league is so tough. And I think you got to take that mindset instead of saying, okay, right now we got to get to the second seed, because at that point, then anything can happen. If you're the second seed, then you know that you're hosting at least 2 games at home if you're fortunate to win the first game.
Right.
If you win the second game, you get the second game at home against the number 3 seed, more likely, or the 6 seed. But then you don't know what's going to happen at 4-1 because every single one of us has been tight.
Right.
You know, every single one of us up there at CBC or at home has all been tight outside of our last game against Woods.
Right.
Every game has been tight. And so you don't know what's going to happen in the tournament. Anybody can get highs. And so you want to be able to put yourself in positions to be able to say, I have home court advantage instead of going on the road. And so that's the motivation, I think, is to be able to put yourself in there and just have a little fight and pride.
Yeah.
And be able to sit there and say, okay, we didn't get that, but at least we got second place and we can be able to do something. I'm not Ricky Bobby. I don't like if you're not first place, you're last. But, I mean, like at the exact same time, though, I think you'd have a little mentality to you, a little bit of a culture fix.
It starts this week against Columbia. Best of luck.
Appreciate it.
That's Preston Ingram, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with Sam Pearson.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show. I'm alongside Coach Sam Pearson. Sam, you guys are coming off of 2 tough losses against Stevens and William Woods.
Yeah.
Can you discuss those a bit?
They were tough, man. I'll say that. You know, Stevens is one of the best teams in all of the country. You know, talented, athletic, tough, play hard, play with great tempo, guard the heck out of the basketball. It's got some freshmen who can shoot it well, you know, from the outside, man, and they're well coached. You know, Stevens is one of the best teams. I thought that we started well early on. You know, gave them our best punch early, you know, and then their tempo kind of got to us later on. They were able to separate second half or second quarter. We only scored 3 points in the second quarter, man. We just really got stagnant. William Woods, man, was a little unorthodox. You know, Woods, we were down 6 players. You know, for an internal issue, you know, so we stepped on the court with a group that we haven't played, you know, together throughout this entire year, man. But I thought they played well, man. I thought they, you know, I thought we gave it our best out there. I thought, you know, we picked up the tempo a little bit, was causing some turnovers, able to rebound the basketball a little bit. Tyler Butler exploited their bigs inside, man, and just a couple of plays down the stretch that could have went our way. You know, a loose ball that ends in a corner triple, man, you know, was a dagger for us late, about a minute and a half to go. You know, but, man, I thought that our group, we fought, man. We battled. Even shorthanded, down 6 players, man, I thought that it was an incredible game. You know, we sure would have liked to get it. You know, us being tied with William Woods in the conference, you know, we sure would have liked to have that win. But, man, you know, at the end of the day, man, it's just back to work, back to you know, full strength with our roster, and we'll see how this week goes for us.
Like you mentioned against Stevens, you guys came out pretty strong.
Yeah.
Like there were good things that came from these 2 games. Like,
Yeah.
you started well against Stevens. Tyler Butler had a double-double against William Woods with 25 and 12.
Yeah.
Leah and Bryce both had double digits against William Woods.
Yeah.
So there are positives to take from those games.
No, that's right, man. There's a lot of good, and some bad to take away, man. But you know, that's the game, man. You know, we're going to moving forward, continue to build on our strengths. You know, the things that we've done well. You know, continue to adjust and tweak on our weaknesses. You know, and see if you know, see where we may fall in the conference, and hopefully make a run in the conference tournament, man. That's kind of the plan for us.
And then so this week, guys go to Columbia on Thursday, and then you got a home game on Saturday.
Yeah.
What are you guys expecting to see?
Yeah, I mean, well, man, I heard Preston say it earlier, man. You know, Columbia is the prototype of the conference. You know, in many, you know, in most all of the sports. You know, in all honesty, man. So they have a tradition of greatness, tradition of winning. You know, they expect to win. Other teams hope to win. You know, so, man, we got our work cut out for us, man. And they play at a different tempo. With different energy at home, you know, in the Southwell complex, man. So we know we got our hands full. But, man, I'm just excited to get everybody back on the court, playing our brand of basketball, man. And again, no matter the opponent, man, I think that we're going to be a tough outing for them. And then here Saturday is Cotty, home game, 1 o'clock tip, man. And we owe them one, man. You know, we let one get away from us at their place. Really stagnant offensively. It was kind of a weird trip. We traveled down in one bus, man. It was just an odd trip, you know. So I knew that we weren't at our best. going down there to Nevada, man. So I'm hoping that, you know, we'll be able to turn it around, tweak it a little bit here Saturday, you know, and have a big week, man, with Columbia and Cotty here.
So 3 weeks left until the end of the season, until the conference tournament.
Yeah.
What's your message to the team to finish this one strong?
One day at a time, man. One day at a time, one film session at a time, one practice at a time. Let's continue to get better, man. It's been a new group. It's been an unorthodox year. It's been highs. There's been lows. You know, but we're going to win together. We're going to lose together. You know, we're going to laugh together. We're going to cry together, man. You know, so let's get better together, you know, and let's finish this thing off strong, you know, in one piece and as a unit, man, you know, and we'll consider that as an accomplishment, brother.
So 2 games this week. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This has been the Coaches Show. Thanks for watching.